You know,
What's going on, man?
I'm a little
It's Frank
disappointed.
Starfire.
Nice to meet you.
And, I'm a simple guy, and I live my life by really simple means, you know what I mean? And, I live by simple mottos and credos and phrases and everything because it works for me, you know what I mean? Lately, I've adopted a new...
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Frank Starfire, or you know what? For today's episode, I'm gonna go by my other moniker. It's Uncle Frank Starfire with you. This is the Just to Be Frank podcast. I thank you for joining me. You know what I mean? The reason I'm Uncle Frank for the day is because I'm gonna have a very special guest on, my very first overseas guest, to be honest, and that's kind of exciting for me. You know what I'm saying? If you remember a few episodes back. And if you didn't watch it, go ahead and check out the interview I did with It's Jilly Baby. We were talking about this new wave of social media in the aspect of it being a live stream sort of deal, and I think that's pretty much going to be what the next wave of social media is going to be. It's going to be more about live streaming as opposed to just typing something out, you know what I'm saying? And I think that, like, Snapchat kind of started it, Instagram's got it, you know what I'm saying? It's move. You could see it moving in the direction of just going completely live stream, and I think that that's, you know, much like any social media, that's a good and a bad thing. But for all intents and purposes, for today, the young lady that I'm gonna have on, she's part of that positive aspect of drawing into the social media. So that's going to be interesting. And we'll talk to her in a few minutes when she finishes feeding the boy. So, as most of you know, I stay away from politics as much as humanly possible unless it's absolutely necessary to talk about it. And I feel we're pretty much going to talk about it today. But if you've been living under a rock for the last week, you may not have seen the Capitol riots, where a bunch of cowardly pieces of shit decided to storm Congress and terrorize citizens and their elected officials and try and overturn the election and all that shit. Now, look, like I said, man, I tend to stay away from this type of stuff, but I'm going to say this one on this, you know. Those were cowards. Those don't represent all of America. That represents one portion of America. And unfortunately, it's the very ignorant, stupid portion. You know what I'm saying? And for those of you who applauded that, I feel sorry for you. You know what I'm saying? If you participated, I will be so happy when you go to prison. And if that was the wake-up call that you needed to be able to say, hey, you know what, nah, this is getting a little out of fucking hand, kudos to you. Although it took you a little while, hey, better late than never, right? I try and err on the side of caution in that type of shit. But either way, it is I, Uncle Frank, doing the damn thing here. And honestly, I haven't really been doing much of anything lately, man. I've just been kind of just sitting back and watching and paying attention to what the fuck is going on, man. And a lot of weird shit going on, man. But, and of course, we're still raging with a fucking coronavirus and shit. So there's that. But we're going to get into all that when we start talking. But I felt like I'd banter with you all for a moment. This girl got me saying the word banter more. It's fucking crazy. It's interesting. Like, you don't realize how much certain things rub off on you when you're interacting with people. But certain idioms, rather, I should say. Wow, we're fucking with that word. Idioms and things like that you start to pick up. So it's very interesting, man. But we're going to bring her in a few minutes, man. For the meantime, y'all just chilling with me. I'm trying to restructure, make it look a little more spacious because I realized y'all being right up on my face. Don't want to see that much of me. But I'm trying to find the dynamic to where I can look in the camera and look at my subject, look at you all, the viewers and shit. It's little difficult, but we're going to figure it out. No worries. All right. Yeah, I had to get rid of some mucus, and I didn't feel like sharing that with you all. But, all right, man. So we're doing all right. We're going to make it happen. Like I said, in a few minutes, I'm going to bring my homegirl Safi up in here, and we'll do that. What else the fuck have been going on, man? Snoop and Eminem. I thought that was interesting, but apparently that beef is already squashed, so that's good. Unfortunately, as much as I would have loved to hear Snoop Dogg diss record against Eminem and vice versa, seeing that battle and all that, I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like, if it's just for fun and they just going back and forth, taking a couple little pot shots at each other, that's one thing. But if it really becomes like some simmering ass beef type shit, I don't want to see that, man. I respect them both as artists way too much. But neither here nor there, man. So we'll figure that out. Hopefully it looks like it's over though. I've seen Snoop tweeted somewhere, hit somebody's Instagram and was like, nothing, we good, so the Dogfather's saying they good. So I'm with it. That works for me. What else? It's funny. I've been thinking a lot about this Vlad TV shit. And, I have a very weird kind of understanding of it, I guess. Like, the truth is, I guess, at the end of the day, an apology could have easily been done, and he could have avoided all the unpleasantness with some of his best interviewees. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love listening to Lord Jamal and Vlad. I love listening to Godfrey on Vlad. You know what I mean? So, but I do think Vlad definitely does err to the negative side of things in a lot of things. Like he seems to court the controversy. He always wants to ask the most dirbage questions about your everything, so I don't really like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like how he tries to put everything out there and say, man, you tell your business and shit. And then, of course, everybody's watching. Everybody's fucking watching. But, yeah, man. So what I'm going to do is we'll take a quick pause and when Safi comes up in here, we'll bring it on back. In the meantime, thank you for joining me on the Just to Be Frank podcast. I do appreciate you as ever. And yeah, we'll be right back. All right, and we are indeed back. I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in. This is the Just to Be Frank podcast. I am indeed Frank Starfire. And so I'm going to bring in this young lady, and I can't lie, it's going to drive me insane just because her voice makes me so happy. But ladies and gentlemen, here is my friend, Safiya. Come on now. Safi!
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. It looks weird without all the lights and shit going on now. Yeah, I'm filming. What's up? Oh, man. How are you today? You ate? You fed? You had your coffee?
No, I've had my coffee, though. I haven't eaten. I'll eat after. Don't worry.
Okay. Fair enough. That's fair enough. You know what I'm saying? How's the boy?
Huh?
How's the boy?
He's good. He's just showering off. Then he's going to get his food. He's going to munch a little bit. Yeah, he's cool. He's chilling, singing in the shower.
The boy's 10. What is he singing?
He sings all sorts. I'm not even he's obsessed with We Made You by Eminem at the moment because it's the only song that I let him listen to by Eminem because it doesn't have any swear words in it.
I mean, he's 10. You live in Europe. He probably knows more swear words than you do.
Yeah. No, I know he knows the swear words, but yeah, I played him a little. Eminem's a bit too much. Like, he's listened to songs with swearing in it, but Eminem's a bit too much. Like,
I listen. I don't disagree with you one little bit. You know what I mean? Give him some Nas.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Give him some of that. Give him some Rakim.
Yeah.
You gotta give him the basics. You know what I'm saying? And then
as he gets older,
right.
I think he has a good foundation for music as a 10-year-old. Anyway, I think he definitely listens to more of a variety than any of his friends. Like, so I think it's quite good. He has a foundation. Like, he loves rock, reggae, rap, like everything, just like I do.
Okay.
And
Eclectic
then obviously,
kid. Eclectic kid.
Yeah, and then he still likes, some of the kind of TikTok kind of songs that don't really.
I don't know anything about that. I'm out of the age range for TikTok. I'm not talking no ticks. Fuck that.
Yeah, so you can't avoid it. It's one of those things. Like, songs without substance.
Yeah,
he likes to, but he's 10, so I'm gonna allow him when another 8 years. And then I'm gonna have something to say about it.
And when he go to school, he gonna be listening to it in the schoolyard, and you ain't gonna have no control over that. His best mate gonna roll up like, "Yo, you have to hear this. It's bloody amazing." And he's gonna be like, "What is it?" And he's gonna be like, "Oh no, my mom won't let me listen to this, but it sounds so good. I have to hear it." Like,
I'm gonna tell Marley that's how you're imitating his voice. I'm gonna tell him, Frank.
Don't tell him that.
It's done. It's done, Frank.
Oh, that's hilarious. My abs hurt. This laughing is making my abs hurt. I can't do this. Oh man.
Well, at least you're having fun at my son's expense.
Oh, a little bit. Got to. You know what I'm saying? You gotta bust on the kids, man. That's what they're there for.
100%. No one does much for me.
I see me now lagging, but we're just going to dismiss that.
Oh, you're not lagging to me, but I don't know.
Okay, good. You want to hit Terrell up on your way back? All right. But yeah, man. Other than that, man, it's good. It's always good to see you. I was telling the people, I was talking to them about how we met, and it's, to me, the MeetMe app and things of that nature. To me, that's like the second generation of social media. Like, you kind of saw it heading that way with Instagram and Snapchat and all that. Like, it once they incorporated live shit into it, But now this is, I think, the very next wave of social media. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How did you get How did you get involved in it?
So I've had the dating app POF for like about 7 years, or 6-7 years. I got it after my divorce, and I don't really use it that much. I just hop on it every now and again. I have POF, Tinder, Bumble, and I just kind of don't really use any of them.
I was going to say, then what do you have them for?
I just feel like, if I have that there's I don't know if it's a parable or something where it's about the guy who is always praying to the Buddha saying like, I want to win the lottery. I want to win the lottery. Right. Yeah. And he goes back every single time. And in the end, the Buddha comes to life and he's like, well, you need to buy a lottery ticket.
Right.
So I'm like, if I have these devices installed, then potentially if I pop on every now and again,
you can, all right.
You know what I mean?
I get it.
But so I have had all of these for a long time. Tinder, I've never even really used it at all. But with POF, I went back on 6 and a bit weeks ago, and I saw the live button on there. So I thought I'd just go and explore it, see what it was saying. Jumped in like a couple people's lives, and just saw these people talking to the camera, Right. And I ended up asking someone called Russ, who he was the first person I actually met and helped me with a lot of things, just a bunch of questions, just kept throwing it at him. And yeah, and then after I was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna try. Did my first live. It was weird at first. Like, I wouldn't say awkward. I don't really get awkward, but it was kind of like, stepping into new territory.
Right.
And then the second day, someone told me to switch over to MeetMe because it's a better platform, easier to use. Do you understand? So I did, and I'm glad I did. And then, yeah, it kind of just went from there. Obviously, I met yourself, Dreamer, Noob, and then it just started rolling.
Yeah.
Rolling through.
It's funny. I had literally the same exact experience. I had plenty of fish.
Yeah.
And I started, doing it again. I was like, all right, let me jump on again. I deleted it. I reinstalled, deleted.
Yeah.
One of them shits. But I reinstalled it this time. And again, and just like you, I saw the live shit. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. All right, hit the live. And I jumped into this young lady's live, and she's like, it's Jilly Baby. And she was like, well, yeah, but if you're just wanting to see live streams, if you're not really interested in the dating aspect, go to MeetMe. And I'm like, what the fuck is MeetMe? And she's like, she told me what it was. And I'm like, oh, okay. Download, made my profile. And I think yours was the first or second live stream I jumped into.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yours was the first and second one. I want to say it was the first, because I'm scrolling through like, oh, okay, this is nice. And then I saw the picture. I'm like, oh, she's pretty. Boop. And then I heard the accent, and I was like, oh, well, now we're just on fire here. All right, I can dig it. And then I ain't left yet.
No, it's true. You're like, literally, you're there like every day. Like, it's good. I was like, I've got loyal viewers, definitely. Like, you're the most loyal. Like, you're there. Like, when I'm there, you're there. It's nice.
Hold on. Weird aside. Is that pronounced Mawusi?
Yeah, Mawusi.
Mawusi. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. That sounds like.
It means English hands. It's African. My mum. It's not my family name. My mum decided to change our names to that.
I ain't mad at that. I got stuck with Oglesby. So.
You got stuck with what?
Oglesby.
What does it mean?
I don't know. Beats the shit out of me. That was the slave owner's name. I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm guessing it was some Scottish shit.
Yeah,
because that's what it sounds like. And I guess it was like, because I'll sometimes get mail like O''Glesby. So it's weird. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right, whatever. But no, but I realized the cheat code my mom did, you know what I'm saying? So this will be the first and only time the viewers ever hear my real name. My real name is Francis Loomis Oglesby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can see why I changed it to Frank Starfire.
That's a great name.
But I realized the cheat code. All my brothers and sisters, we all have names that don't sound black on resumes.
Yeah.
You look at Francis, and you're like, oh, Francis Loomis. Oh, that's nice. All right, cool. I show up with the fro. He's like, wait, something's not right here.
That is true. That is true.
That's funny. But all right, so you and that was just it. You jumped on and you've just been on it ever since. Now, and I'm guessing they started the live stream aspect due to the pandemic, because one of the questions is, what are your COVID dating preferences and shit like that? So obviously this is really just a feature that they've utilized. They basically made sugar out of shit, you know what I'm saying? Basically.
I think, Frank, from my understanding, because I thought it was that initially as well, but some of these people have been live streaming for 2 years, they said. So I think that maybe it was a part of it prior. Right. However, it blew up in lockdown. So they changed it, adapted it to make it, more effective during the lockdown. Because I don't think, because most of the people, they say, yes, I got on it within the pandemic, but there has been a few people that have been like, I've been live streaming for 2 years.
Right, I heard that, and I'm like, well, okay. But I've been on, Plenty of Fish within the last 2 years. I don't remember that fucking live. Or maybe I didn't pay attention. My phone was old too, so I had a brick.
I didn't really get on, like I said, so I most probably didn't didn't even notice it, or hadn't been on in the last 2 years anyway. So, well, I most probably I wouldn't have been, because I was in a 3.5 year relationship, so I wouldn't have been on since before that anyway.
Well, all right. So you were married. What age did you get married?
21.
You got married at 21. You had Marley at 16.
Yeah, I fell pregnant at 16. I had him just after I turned 17.
She said I fell pregnant. It's an ailment. I got sick.
That is a normal English.
I know. Listen, I said it earlier, like the idioms that I've picked up from you, just like you, and it's amazing because I utilize take the piss from you in my everyday life now. Like I'm just taking the piss, don't worry about it. Like
yeah.
But that, all right. And obviously that relationship with his father didn't work out. No. So that's not who you married.
No.
Okay.
No. That was a few years later. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I can imagine that was difficult being a young mother. Now, I don't know if it's very different between over here and over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like aid and support for young mothers and things of that nature, or your parents just kick you to the wind, like, you whore, get out of my home. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how that works,
So my story is different from a lot of the people I know. My mom, she had my oldest brother at 16. Okay. So she was very she was aware of the situation. But my grandma, I think it's a generational thing, because my grandma also had my mom at 16. So it's a very so my grandma, when my mother fell pregnant at 16, my grandma kicked my mom out. So my mom had a really difficult time. My brother is albino, so that made it a lot worse. Back in the day, they didn't have much information about albinoism. Right. So my mom ended up on her own.
They used to think that was like the devil or some shit. Yes. Like, yeah.
So
fear, man.
my mom had it really difficult, and then the dad didn't think that my brother was his. It was just so it just went down a spiral. Yeah. But I think so when I fell pregnant, I was really worried about telling my mom. Like, I didn't want to be pregnant anyway in the first place. I wanted to live my life. And so when I told my mom, I was really, really upset. And I was really scared as well about how she would react. I moved out when I was 16 already, so I wasn't living with her anyway. Mm-hmm. And then I told her, she was at work, and I remember she was just like, do you know what, Safi? She was like, it's going to be okay. I'm at work. I can't speak to you right now, but I'll call you back later. Like, don't worry about it. And I remember at time, I was so confused because I thought she was going to bite my head off. Do you understand? And she didn't. I then spoke to her about it and told her, I want an abortion. I don't want to have the child. Do you know what I mean? I want to go to college. I was working at the time and going to college and stuff like that. And she said to me, she's not going to take me to the abortion clinic. She doesn't believe in abortion. She was like, if you want to do that, someone else can take you. She said, but if you decide to keep this child, I will do everything in my power to support you the entire way through. And literally, I went to the abortion clinic, and then they did the scan, and there's this tiny little thing that it wasn't even anything significant, like really to the size of the screen. But then I was just like thought about what my mum said, and then just kind of looked at it, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna go through with it. It's whatever. And my mum, she did. It was difficult because I already suffered with depression. Then I had postnatal depression. I did not bond with Marley at all. So I did not feel any love towards him or anything like that. Wow. And I guess being 17 as well, like I had other things on my mind, but I really struggled with not having this maternal kind of, I love this child. It was more like I was obligated to have the child because of my own kind of beliefs. I didn't want to have an abortion, really, even though I said it and I was looking at going through with it. So I was having this feeling of like, well, I've done it, so I have to kind of, you know, make sure this child doesn't die, basically. But in the same, and it's very, yeah, in hindsight, I look back and it's kind of amusing, but at the time it was very difficult to process, because I was like, I don't actually have, you know, when you see the movies, when you see my friends and they're happy with the children, I'm just like, ugh, like I want to do the thing. So my mum had him a lot. I was partying a lot. I was going out every weekend, 3 times a weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like all the time. Sometimes I would give my mum would look after him. I'll say I'm going out for the night, and I didn't come back for a week. Like I was being crazy.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen that. I've seen that before.
Yeah, so I just had no kind of no attachment to him at all. And then I had a bad relationship as well. So my mind was all over the place. But then I think it took when I nearly lost him. I was really angry. I had really bad anger management issues. And I ended up, when I was holding him, I ended up smashing a door with my foot. And I was living in a mother and baby unit at the time, because I was under 18. I needed to have support, you know, and so that kind of answers the question for support. You go into like a housing unit that's secure, but I ended up smashing the door there. And then they were like, "This is out of hand, you know, you're a danger to yourself, to your son." Then social services got involved, but they said basically your mum can have him for a short period of time while I kind of like sort out my life.
Right.
And that short period of time was supposed to be less than a week, but it turned into 6 weeks, of which the first 4 weeks I couldn't even tell you what happened. I just know I got drunk every single day and took a bunch of stuff or whatever. And then it's like kind of when like something just clicked, and I was like, this child is going to be with me for the rest of my life. Like I really need to sort myself out, and like it's not going anywhere. I made this decision. Right. I've got to stop blaming my mum, because I kept saying to my mum, you wanted to have the child, so you can look after the child. And that was like kind of the whole thing. So yeah, and then after that, it wasn't immediate change. Like I was still doing stupidness, but over time, I gradually became a better mother, a better person. And it began to flow more. Like now I know I love my son. I would die for my son. Like the transitional feeling from having no emotional attachment to him to now, like I would literally rip off someone's head. Like even when people are horrible to him in school, like I forget they're 9-10 years old, and I just want to go for them.
You got to start. You got to teach Molly how to box now. You know that. You got to teach him how to box now.
No, 100%. But so, and you know what? It's even though it was so bad at the beginning, it was very, very, very bad. The contrast that I now see is incredible. We're best friends, but I still, you know, have the authority. Like, you know, we talk about everything. He's very open with me. So, and I'm very open with him, honest with him. I tell him, you know, absolutely everything. So, yeah, like, but the biggest support, to answer your question, the biggest support was my mother. Without my mother, my son wouldn't even have been here in the first place. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
I gotta say, man, you know, hearing that, and knowing you, I don't know you, but I got a fairly good idea of you. That is quite surprising, actually. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Because you strike me. You got the proper uprightness to you now.
Yeah.
Little did we know, Safi was a villain. Safi was a villain. And I'm okay, you know what I'm saying? Like that, but that adds so many layers of depth to who you are, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to your moms for seeing what her mom did and going the exact opposite. Like, nah, yeah. Moms, that's not how we gonna do this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a blessing. You 100%. Know what I'm saying? And, because the truth is, if she didn't put that bug in your ear, give you those words.
Yeah.
You might have gone through it. And in all honesty and fairness, you wouldn't be who you are today. And you certainly wouldn't, I think you'd feel that guilt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Having lost a few kids of my own to abortion, I can tell you that shit sucks. You know what I'm saying? And I rue the day. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I genuinely wish that didn't happen. But hey, you got to move. You know what I'm saying? You got to move on, and you know what I'm saying. And I don't harbor any ill will towards any of my exes or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's a blessing to be able to see the growth in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because and you're 27, so think about that. That was 10 years. It's just 10 years ago. 10 years is a short fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's a short time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 10 years ago, it's now shit. That was 2011.
2010.
2010. Shit,
End of 2010.
I lost my mom in 2010. You know what I'm saying? So I know that 10 years is a hell of a stretch, and to watch the turnaround, and it's interesting. Like, it's funny. You and I have a lot of parallels in that way. You know what I'm saying? Because 10 years ago, just, you know what I'm saying, I was in a deep spiral of just bad decisions, depression, and doing dumb shit. Shit I should not be doing.
Yeah.
And to see where I'm at now, from then to now, it's a complete turnaround, and I'm way more humble now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a lot more honest.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? I used to harbor just hold a lot of shit in. I used to just hold it and hold it and hold it until eventually I'd fucking burst at the seams, and it'd be anger and all that crazy shit. And that didn't help anybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good thing you've grown. You know what I'm saying? I commend you for that. What do you think was the most difficult aspect of it?
Of being a parent, or just of growing up?
Just of growing up. As far, you know what I mean? Because again, we kind of live in two separate worlds. You know what I'm saying? Because you live in Europe. You know what I'm saying? So here in America, you know what it is in the 50 states. You know, depending on where you're at, it can be hectic. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, and that's not to say that life can't be good. You know what I'm saying? Like we was on the stream last night having this conversation. Like if all you see is misery, and if all you allow yourself to see is misery, that's all you're going to be is miserable. You know what I'm saying? You have to alter your perceptions to something beyond what you see. So you know Tupac. He wrote, you know Tupac, but he also did. I don't know if you know, he wrote a book of poetry. It's called The Rose. It was called The Rose That Grew from Concrete. And the very aspect of just that, a rose that grows from concrete, you know what I'm saying? It defies all odds and still makes it through. That perception is what people need to have more. It's like, we can go through hardships and it'll be difficult and these things, but if you allow yourself to spring up, something beautiful can occur.
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm fucking, I'm a romantic.
That's good. The world needs more. The world needs more. I'm gonna put on my headset.
Do you think?
I'm listening.
Well, I grew up reading a lot of the literature from over there. You know, a lot of the Shakespeare and all that type shit. And you get a lot of different sense from that. I love good writing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of great stuff came out of there. There's a lot of great writers. Some of my favorite comic book writers are English, you know what I'm saying? So, that's a dope thing. And you're a comic book fan, which
I just love.
You're a nerd. You are a nerd. You're a proverbial nerd. We're looking at your background. Your Jay looking like mine. And it's funny. I don't know if you can see this picture here. I've had this cover of Wizard since 1992.
Wow.
It's fucked up. It's beat to shit. And I don't care.
Wow. You talking about Wizard the movie?
No, Wizard. There used to be a magazine, a comic book magazine called Wizard.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Now it's Wizard World online because who the fuck prints magazines
Yeah.
anymore?
I hate that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like even in school when it was partially because we were poor and didn't have the access to a computer. But even at the point where we did, I would still write everything down, all my work, my assignments. And you know how they marked it? I'd have to do it like one side, so that once they mark that, I'd have to rewrite the entire page. And I love paper and writing, and like
I still read newspapers.
Yeah.
Actual newspapers. I want to read a book. I want pages. I want paper cuts. I want to smell the glue and the binding. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing like that, man.
It's phenomenal. That's why I buy my son books. No ebooks, like nothing on the iPad. He just has books and books and books because it's different. It's entirely different experience when you read from a book.
It is. You know what I'm saying? And what's your favorite book?
Oh, I don't know.
If you could pick, all right, don't pick one. Just give me one of your favorite books. Let's try that. Let's go there. That's easier.
I love this one. It was called Ugly. It was like I think it was maybe a biography, but there was so much. It was a woman. She was writing about her life, right? But then the mom, they ended up in the news. The woman, her mom, was saying that it wasn't accurate because I think it was a depiction of her mom and how her mom used to treat her growing up, and it was just it's a very difficult read, very intense, like with a lot of sexual assault and stuff like that. But things like that, they kind of grasp my attention a lot. Like, for example, one of my favorite movies is The Color Purple, and that's really
I've never seen it. I've never. You know why? And this is gonna be weird.
Yeah.
Movies like that make me angry.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't watch. So I watched like Summer Roots, and then I was like, nope. Not watching this. Like I love Malcolm X, but I hate watching that fucking movie. Like I can't watch Menace to Society and shit like that. Like those movies make me angry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I completely understand what you're saying. And it does. It brings up all kinds of emotions. It's a hard watch.
But I love horror movies. So there's that.
That's where we're different.
You don't like horror. You're scared. Listen, if the life you've lived is horror movie shit, like, come on.
Listen, listen. Oh no, because the thing is, I like, for example, like I don't mind gore. So, for example, like the Saws, they're some of my favorite movies. That's not scary,
right?
It's not. Yeah, it's just jumpy a little bit. But you put in anything about possession and spirit,
all right.
I could not, because I believe that they're real.
I do too, but I also believe that the only way to have a malevolent spirit is to believe in the malevolence. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like basically the idea is that everything is real because everyone believes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But it like a tulpa almost. And for those of you who don't know, I'm a Supernatural fan, so I know what a tulpa is. Fuck y'all. But it's like you give power to it when you fear. You know what I'm saying? And
yes.
All negative, but I mean, if we look at it in all honesty, like, a lot of those things were written by very superstitious, scared people. You know what I'm saying? Like they believed that everything in the shadows was out to kill them, which, admittedly kind of true because there are big jungle cats out there. So, I mean, I understand. But the superstition kind of overshadows the actuality. You know what I'm saying? Like I always ask this, like, if you believe that demonic possession is real, right? Why do you think angelic possession would be any better for, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would destroy the vessel too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then if I had to be honest, I believe that angels would be really mad at us. Like, oh, these your people? Oh, these your folk? Oh, word? Show you what I do to these ants. Let me show you something. One of the dopest. I don't know. Have you ever heard of the comic Crimson?
No.
Okay.
No.
It was about this vampire kid by the name of Alex Elder. It was drawn by Humberto Ramos, and it was damn. This is why I need a producer to Google shit. But if you but there was a story in it, right?
Yeah.
And one of the joys, it's a Christmas day. Now, mind you, he's a vampire. Right, so
Yeah.
he's walking through Central Park. He's 16 years old. He's walking through Central Park. He sees a little black girl outside selling white roses. So he's like, "Yo, what are you doing out here, man? You should be home looking for sugar plums, man. Come on." Touch it on the nose real quick. He's like, "Yo, I'm gonna buy all these off you," and then he gives them to the homeless lady sitting, you know what I'm saying, laying in the gutter shit. You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Oh, everybody deserves a Christmas." Boom.
Yeah.
Little girl's just looking at him like, "All right, cool." She don't say nothing. She's just looking at him. He goes into this diner and he's talking to the waitress and everybody. So in walk these, like, people start to come into the diner. It's Christmas Eve. People start to come into the diner. It turns out that the people that are coming into the diner are the angels, like Zuriel and Michael, and you know what I'm saying? All there, so they walk into the diner. So 7 angels walk into a diner. It's like a crazy punchline. You know what I'm saying? And they're all talking to shit. So they start like going crazy on the people in there. They killed, like, the angels killed the fucking waitress because she let her daughter die on her doorstep because she was drunk. She didn't hear her daughter crying for her, you know what I'm saying? So she harbors that guilt. So they kill her for that. They killed the cook because he killed his drug dealer back in Jamaica and then ran. And then they kill this girl who has HIV, but she doesn't want to tell, like, she's scared. So they kill her. And the vampire's like, "Yo, fuck, what y'all doing?" Like, he run up on them, and they, you know, whoop him down real quick, and they're about to judge him for being a vampire. Like Michael got the sword out and everything. Like, "Yo, you're being judged for being, a vampire." Boom, boom. In walks Lucifer.
Oh wow!
You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Whoa. My invite didn't get rescinded here. I still get a vote." You know what I'm saying? I might rule another, but I'm still one of the brothers now. So he rolls in, and Lucifer is like, "Nah, you know what? I vote to spare him. Like, nah, he's a good kid, and there's just something about him that, you know what I'm saying? I think he's going to do some really great things." You know what I'm saying? And mind you, the vampire's like, "Yo, I don't want nothing from you, demon." You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Look, what kind of world are we living in when I can't even get a vampire to love me?" You know what I'm saying? Oh, so all the angels, all the angels bring everybody back. You know what I mean? All the angels bounce. Like, "Yo, well, next time I'm bringing the memo," type shit. Alex is like, "I don't know what the fuck just happened." Lucifer's like, "Yo, look, man, just go on about your life, man. Go do your thing, man. Forget this shit ever even happened, man. You all right. Don't worry about it." All of them leave. The devil, he's sitting there. He's like, "Damn, man, that motherfucker's made a mess." Shit, man. And in walks the little girl. Mm-hmm. So he's like, "What it do, boss? Little girl is God." You know what I'm saying? The little girl is God. He's like, "Yo, I did the assist for you, you know what I'm saying? Because I know you got something planned for this kid, so I got you, you know what I'm saying? But forgiveness is for everybody, even me? Oh, well, I like to give the people a next option, you know what I'm saying?" But just and then he walks out, and God brings everybody back to life. The little girl brings everybody back to life, and they go about their Christmas, and you know what I'm saying?
That sounds
to me
super dope.
That to me is one of my favorite stories about anything having to do with religion or anything. You know what I'm saying? Simply because I like the idea and the concept that forgiveness is for anybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that there are some people I think that are kind of devoid of second chances. I was actually talking to your sister in her stream about this last night. Like, people who harm women or children, to me, you're kind of irredeemable. You know what I mean? Especially if you harm children in any way. But the idea that forgiveness is for anybody, is for everybody, is a very, very wonderful thing. And I just felt like sharing that with you because you're a comic fan.
I love that. That's incredible. Like I'm gonna have to get that comic. I'm gonna have to read it.
And it's a dope series. There's werewolves and vampires. There's all sorts of cool stuff in there, man. Dragon, Saint George comes back, the Dragon Slayer, but he's a black dude and it's ill.
Oh my, that sounds I gotta get on it. I'll do some more comic book reading. I think because you know what happens as well is like life happens and then you end up just doing, and especially we go back to the technology thing. Do you know what I mean? You just end up stuck in technology. And when I went to uni as well for 3 years, all I was reading were university books, peer-reviewed articles. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like any of the news that I was getting, I had news notifications to my phone, so I was just like reading news constantly and like didn't have time to, I didn't even want to look at a book at that point, like, you know, just so it's just like I definitely need to get back into it.
Now, how does school work over there? You say you went to university at like what, 17, 16, 17?
No, that was college. But that was actually college, not you guys' college. That's
okay. Yeah, all right, so you're gonna have to break this down because like for us we have elementary school, which is usually is
primary school.
Okay, so that's usually like what they'll call kindergarten to like 5th grade.
Yes, 6th, but yeah.
5th or 6th. Okay, sometimes 6th grade over here, and then you do what we call junior high school,
which is our secondary school
or intermediate school, and that's usually like 7 to 8 or 6, 7, and 8th grade or what have you.
This is where it changes for you and I. So our secondary school is from about age 11 all the way up to age 16.
Okay. Well, that's about the same.
Yeah, I thought you lot had another school from 14 to 18.
Well, you do. We have high school.
Yeah, our one's 16 to 18.
But that can go from your freshman year, you're usually about 14 or 15. So 9th grade, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's your high school, 4 years.
Okay.
That's usually how it works over here. So you got 9, 10, 11, 12. So,
okay.
I mean, but some schools, like I went to a junior high school that went from 7, 8, 9. So I did my freshman year of high school in my junior high school. You know what I'm saying? And then I went to high school where I proceeded to be a sophomore for like the next 3 years because I cut school every day.
It's fine. It took me 5 years to finish college. 5 at high school. Well, I guess high school. 5 years it took me.
Right. And then you go to university. Okay, that's interesting. Cause
yeah,
I graduated high school late. I graduated 2 years late. But
I graduated I guess because it's supposed to be 2 years. I graduated 3 years later. But that was when I got kicked out of my mum's house / moved out, and then the next year had my son. Do you know what I mean? So it took a while. But we got there.
We had girls who were pregnant in high school, and we knew them by the jacket they wore. They all wore the same baby fat jacket.
Oh wow! Oh my God!
All the pregnant girls, we knew you was pregnant if you had the baby fat jacket because it like hid everything really, really well. And you couldn't tell what a person's size was growing under there really like
that. Crazy.
Unless you really looked at them like, what the fuck?
That's crazy. I actually went to college and I was pregnant, and because I was carried so small, and so I had my son. He was born on the 2nd of December. So I was taking dance in college. So I danced right up until my pregnancy in college, and then went on my break, and then came back in January. And because the father wasn't helping, I ended up having to bring my son to school for most of the time.
Do that?
And do you know what? The first school that I went to, this was after I got kicked out of my house. They weren't very supportive at all. They basically said they were going to kick me out of school because I weren't really attending, even though I explained. And then the second school I went to, this is the one where I could bring my child. It's such an incredible school. I didn't even really know about it beforehand, and it was kind of like a bit further out the way, but they the dance teacher, she's known as the strictest teacher in the school. When I came in one day, I was like, I don't have any childcare. Is it okay if I can, bring my son in? And she said, yeah. She carried him the whole way, danced with him, like she was so cool. And that's what they were like. I was allowed to breastfeed there. They said take your time. Like they even said I could start the year again. They were really good, but it was too much for me doing it on my own, so I didn't actually complete there. But yeah,
having that support, that's, like you said, that's everything, man. Sometimes that's everything. And you have a little sister, so
my sister wasn't around in my life for most of my life. When all of this was happening, she wasn't even in the country. She was living in Ghana for a few years. Yeah, so she didn't even know, actually. When she got back from Ghana, it was when my mum told her that I'd had a child, which she was, like, I don't know.
She's an auntie. You're an auntie!
She didn't really take it too well, that she didn't know. But obviously I was going through my own thing. Everyone was kind of going through their own thing. But so no, that support in the school, that school was phenomenal. But I couldn't do it. So I ended up going to a different college after, and did performing arts, which I actually managed to complete, which was good. But it took after 5 years.
And then you went to university and you studied criminology.
Yeah, so originally I was going to study law, because I like the idea of being a lawyer.
You just want to argue all the time. That's all. You just want to argue with people and get paid to do it. That's all.
That is literally right. I want to argue with people, and I think I'm very good at it. So
yeah, you know what? I ain't gonna lie. You came over here and became a lawyer. The English accent that you have would work wonders for you, because they're so enamored. Like, yes, I believe everything you said. You can't lie. Listen to that voice.
It's crazy, because I have heard so many times that people say you sound so much more intelligent than American people, which apparently, and I remember watching this study. Actually, I wouldn't put everything on this study. It was like a TV show, but the basic foundation of it was that they did different studies, and they had a group of 100 people that would respond. And this one where it was a woman, a voice actor, and she did a talk in front of Americans, and her voice was American, but like a down south kind of accent. Right. One that normally in movies, they're kind of people that aren't the brightest. I don't want to be rude, but that's kind of
stereotype.
Stereotyping.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the next one, she did a British accent. It was crazy, because it was the same exact speech in the same way, and the American accent, people were like falling asleep to. They had no interest in what she was saying. When she said it in a British accent, people were like, it's so interesting what she was talking about. She's so smart. It was crazy how these people just entirely different. It was, it's crazy.
It's interesting. And it's too early in the morning here, so I'm not going to take a shot when I say this, but I recently learned where the stereotype for the slow Southerner comes from. Apparently, there's something called hookworm disease. And because people used to walk around with their shoes off all the time in all sorts of places and all sorts of shit, they got hookworms. And what they do is they affect your cognitive abilities and then distend your belly. So it's like they all had this same ailment, but nobody knew. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, and I learned that on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh, wow. Yes. Yeah, that's dope. Yeah. I like Joe Rogan, actually.
I love the guy, man. He's really intelligent. He calls himself a moron all the time, and I hate that, because I'm firmly of the belief that you shouldn't speak negatively about yourself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get it in jest. He's a stand-up comic. I get it. It's just, the easiest person to target to make fun of is yourself. I myself do it all the time with my one eye. So, it's okay. You know what I mean? But you shouldn't speak negatively about yourself in such a way and call yourself a moron and have people question your intelligence, because morons don't try and have the smartest people on to talk to, or the most interesting people to talk to, aside from just talking to your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's, you know, it's something I'm trying to emulate to a degree where I just want to talk to interesting people. But since my interests are so many and varied, I'll talk to anybody, you know what I mean, about anything. And that's kind of what drew me to it, you know?
Yeah.
But that's where that stereotype comes from, is unfortunately, you know, a disease that nobody knew about, you know? It's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is the perception of the English accent is that people from London or, you know, from England or from Europe, they have just more intelligence and things of that nature. And it's just, you know, again, it's perception because, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I've also seen footballers going crazy on the damn pitch. Like, yo, why did you just headbutt homie?
Yeah, like it is just a perception, because even on MeetMe streaming, you know, we get the comments from Americans, you know, women in America are disloyal, are unloyal. Do you understand what I'm saying? Unloyal.
No.
And you know,
those idiots don't understand that the women they're dealing with are disloyal. It's them. It's not all. It's just them.
Exactly.
And those generalizations fuck with me, because it's like, yo, you're going out of your way to just encompass everybody in your bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, cut it out.
Exactly. And it gives them kind of like a false perspective of what they believe I am. They're like, oh, you know, British people are classy and Americans are ratchet. I'm like, you should come here and see some of the ratchetness that's over here. Like, ratchet is universal. It's universal.
Your legal drinking age is 16, right?
No, it's 18, but everyone drinks. So like, it's normal here. Like, I was clubbing when I was 16, I was drinking when I was 14, like, and it's normal. No one's gonna look. But you know, like it's like, for example, in America, I remember when I went when I was 20. I don't know if it's changed or if it was where I was, but they were very strict on it. You could not even sit at the bar if you were
21.
Yes, whereas here, you can literally more than likely get away with, if you're on a family, ordering drinks. Your parent or your older sister could order you a drink and just hand it to you.
Over here, if you're sitting down and everybody's having wine or drinks or whatever, and you try and order one, they're gonna be like, well, let me see your ID. You know, and you know, listen, I am not the greatest fan of alcohol. You know what I'm saying? I've seen alcoholism and it up close and personal. I know that I'm probably susceptible to it, which is why I, like, honestly, since I haven't really had a drink since like last week like that, just because I did kill that entire bottle of whiskey in one day. You know what I'm saying? Like, type of shit. So that was pretty bad, and that was enough. But I also know that I can only drink whiskey because it's the only thing that doesn't make me act like a stupid idiot or get all belligerent, and I can just enjoy it. It's a gentleman's drink. I can sip, chill, you know what I'm saying? And then I smoke pot. So that helps. You know what I'm saying? I'm a firm advocate for cannabis usage because I genuinely believe it can help people. You know what I'm saying? I think psychedelics are a good thing for people. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where we got civilization from. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can imagine that our ancient hominid brethren from way back was just foraging around on their knuckles and shit, looking for shit, and wound up in a patch of some weed or some shrooms or something and just ate them. And, you know, they hungry, so they like, and then tripped balls for like a day and a half, and it came out of it was like, yo, that was some shit. Wait, what the fuck is these words? What are words? Why do I know this? Wait, hold on. Civilization. I gotta write this down. I gotta go on the wall.
I like that.
I gotta write this down here. Like, yo, you ain't see this shit? Look, I seen aliens, bro.
Oh shit! I suppose that could be plausible.
That makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying? When people talk about, all right, aliens, all right, I look at it like this. Like, I think aliens are real too. You know, I think we'd be arrogant to believe we're the only sentient life in the galaxy. You know what I'm saying? But Imagine you're huddled in a cave. You're eating some big rodent that you found, like yay big and shit, and it's raw, and you're in a cave, you're huddled over, you're naked, you're shivering, you're cold, and then some big, tall, black dude, probably with some motherfucking real dark motherfucking balls with some fucking bone sticking through his nose, long ass fingers, rolls up on you and was like, no. Clacks two rocks together, fire. You think that motherfucker was an alien too?
Yep. It's true.
You think that dude was an alien too? Like, what the fuck did I just experience? Who is this? This guy had on a pelt. Where'd you get a pelt? I've been trying to kill a big goof motherfucker for years. You killed like 5 of my brothers.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I mean, listen, these are the things that you think about when you smoke weed now. This is where this shit...
I'm figuring this out. Like, shit.
I'm paranoia. We just in here like, oh, yeah. Like, I know if you've seen, you've seen the Catholic Mass and all that. We've all seen it, probably been a part of it once or twice. The thing they walk down the aisle swinging, I forget what it's called, but it's got the frankincense and myrrh.
Yeah.
They used to burn weed in that. They used to be weed.
Yeah, I remember you saying this. I don't know if it was on what was it on my street, my life.
One of your streams, yeah. Like, they used to walk down the aisle and get people high. Like,
yeah.
And then you wonder why people are having revelations and shit. Like, yo, my mother was getting zooted. I get it. I'm with it. I get that.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, let's be honest with ourselves. And but that's a very cool thing, man. Like, especially like, me, as I tell anybody, I'm not the religious cat, but I have the idea that I also, what it is? I also have this weird thing about blind faith. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I don't like intangible shit. And I guess that might be what it is. But then I always say, I am the way God made me. I question shit. I ask questions. I want to know everything. And I don't know if I'm right or wrong about anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's the one thing. Like, I don't know. But I'm okay with learning what I can. And I think that science and God have to go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, you break down a rock and look at its molecular structure and all that, you're seeing how God crafted the fucking universe. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly how I look at
it. But I'm also of the opinion and belief that I would probably have been hung and murdered for half the things I think back in the days. I'd be so martyred. They'd have stoned the shit out of me. I'd have been so stoned. Like, get this motherfucker. Fuck out of here. Kill him.
No, I get that. I used to get in trouble at Sunday school all the time because I would ask so many questions, and I would ask questions that like my Sunday school teacher would never be able to ask, and I was just like, I don't have an understanding about this, and I need to be able to get answers to be able to fully believe at the end of the day. And I've always been like that. And my mum is the one, she's Christian, she's, she believes in God and everything. She's the one who's encouraged me to ask the question. She's been like, I don't want you to just, blindly follow. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I hate when people, I ask them a question, they're like, just, because he's God. That is not an answer. That is not an answer.
For me.
What?
and then I'll talk to I have a good old G I know. His name is Reverend Davis. He runs the Presbyterian Church of St. Albans. I attended their day camp when I was a kid, and Reverend Davis is one of those people where he's very, he's a reverend. He's, what I'm saying, he's a guy, man of God, but he also very hood. So he got a little bit of hood in him. So, but he'll tell you to be honest truth. Like, and when I talk to him about these types of things, one of the things I love that he said to me, honestly, he was like, look, it doesn't matter what you believe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to believe what I believe or anything like that. Just be the best you can be, and try and treat everybody with love and appreciation. And that's all anybody can ever ask. You're doing God right there. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, it doesn't matter if you follow this book or not. Like, this is my way of life. You know what I'm saying? This is what called me. God might call you in a different direction or send you on a different path of knowledge and self-discovery. You know what I'm saying? And I looked at that and I was like, and then that's when I really started like asking these questions that I guess made me like look kind of crazy to some people. But I always like, okay, like I look at the fantastical aspects of the Bible and then I look at the allegory, the stories, and the message behind everything. You know what I'm saying? And I think that the message is sound. It's basically about love. God was wrathful at one point, and he was like, yeah, let's try a different approach.
Yep.
Let's do a little different. You know what I'm saying? But I also think that it's kind of, it doesn't provide enough perspective on everybody. Like, you mean to tell me everybody that was inspired to write the Bible, not one was a woman? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I actually thought of that. I was thinking of that the other day. Actually,
where's their stories at? Like, what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's very gender biased. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, and then I look at the things, I start questioning shit like, all right, you got Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Well, where's the woman in that? There's a Trinity, but where's the women? Like, they're kind of vital to the whole thing here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shouldn't we be revering them too? They do what God does. They create life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's God.
Because I was thinking about the other day, because I watched you know, Soul, the new Disney movie. I was watching that, and I looked at the entities that were half female, half male, because I saw that this guy called Marcus Rogers, I follow him on Facebook, and he's a Christian, he's a pastor. I'm pretty sure he's a pastor. He speaks on loads of things. Some of the things that I still follow him, even though some of the things he says I don't agree with
Right.
and more so recently, but I still follow him anyway, because it's good to have different, you know, in perspectives.
Right.
But he said, I didn't even know the movie was coming out, but he was like, oh, I just watched the movie, you know, they're trying to like slyly put in, like, you know, people that are like both genders, you know, like talking about this kind of thing. So I ended up watching the movie like 2 days ago, and it made me think about the movie's brilliant, by the way. I suggest that you watch it.
No, I haven't watched it yet, but I did. My brother and his girl were watching it, so I pretty good, I think.
No, I enjoyed it. But then I was thinking about God and you know, how they put he in the Bible, and then how men wrote the Bible, and maybe it was because of their perception of what God was, because that's how God revealed himself. Because I was thinking about other religions, right? And I was thinking about, because I've always had this issue, and I've always told my mum, like, why is it that people go to hell if they don't believe in, you know, our God necessarily, when there's so many different ones? But I was saying that, thinking that maybe God could reveal himself differently to different people.
Right.
So, and why isn't that possible? Because at the end of the day, God is supposed to be this just crazy entity that we're not
being.
Yeah. So why isn't it possible that he doesn't reveal himself in different ways to different people? Do you understand what I'm saying? So then it kind of started making me think about, you know, just how it was written in the Bible. Why is there only men? Is it men? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and then I went on this train of thought. So I just thought I'd say that with that. But it does make me think a lot about that, and I do firmly believe in God. Like, that is not questionable. But
I don't even believe in God. I know for a fact he exists. Like, and I think knowledge is stronger than belief in a way, you know what I mean? But I also think that God doesn't really give a damn about your sexuality or anything like that. I don't think God actually cares about that type of crap. I think he's got bigger things to worry about than who the hell you weird monkeys are fucking. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he cares about that, or he or she, it, whatever. I don't think he cares about that. God is in nature, you know what I'm saying? Have you ever seen the movie Dogma?
It is one of my favorite movies. I've watched it so many times. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. In fact, now you've said it, I'm most probably going to watch it today. Oh my God, I love that movie. Like, I showed it to my family. I was like, you have to watch this. Like, the whole concept was just crazy. Right. It was crazy.
And I think about things like Chris Rock was saying, like, yo, Jesus went from 13 to 33. That's a lot of bad storytelling. Like, what was he doing in them intervening? You know what I'm saying? Like, things like that are things that I want to know. And I know the Vatican will never let that shit go. You know what I'm saying? Why does Vatican City need a prison? You know what I'm saying? What y'all got a prison for? What y'all need guns for?
Yeah.
What you need an army for? You know what I'm saying? But I remember learning as a kid about the Crusades, and the heroes of the story were the church. But then I remember growing up and learning about the Moors. I was like, yo, wow, they really just committed genocide because they didn't believe what they believed.
Yeah.
We're not the heroes.
It's crazy. Yes, everything that's what I'm saying about the teaching. Obviously, even when we're talking about decolonizing the curriculum, there's just so much where it paints certain people as one thing and other people as another thing when it's not historically accurate.
Not that cut and dry.
At all. Yeah.
You know and
it's not black and white. There's some good. You know how they pick. When people say it's not good and bad. There's people that are bad people that do good people that do bad. There's in between, like
the gray area of life is where I love to live because I recognize that everything is two-sided, but we as individuals add that third dimension. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of a metaphysical thought process.
Yeah.
But that makes sense to me in that, you have to balance in all things. And to me, if God is both things, God is both good and evil. He has to be, you know what I'm saying? Because he created both, you know what I'm saying? And if anything is bad, it's all, if there is a Lucifer or a Satan or a devil or whatever like that, he was created by God. I'm fairly certain he's pretty much doing God's will because God already knew he was going to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I get a bit like. I'm like, it's weird. Yeah, it is. That's a whole nother discussion. I always go on about this with my mom.
Right, and I always forget it, and I don't remember which book it's in, but the story of Lilith. I love that story because she's basically was cast out of heaven or cast out of Eden because she refused to be subjugated by a man. You know what I'm saying? That was basically it. Like, yo, what the fuck you mean? Who are you? I'm equal to you. Like, what the fuck you mean? Like, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? And to me, but that's to me the level of patriarchy that it kind of instills. And if we think about it, our ancient civilizations, your Mesopotamias, your Sumeria, Kemet, Egypt, like a lot of those places were matriarchal. You know what I'm saying? And they function really fucking well. You know what I'm saying? Really still superstitious and crazy, but they kind of function really well. You know what I'm saying? And I think about what books did Alexander the Great burn when he went to Egypt and all that? What books did he burn? Was it perhaps the books that'll teach us how to use telepathy and telekinesis? Because how else did you build the fucking pyramids? I don't care how many slaves you got. They're not lifting a fucking stone slab like that. Like, I don't care. Like, it doesn't work.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. It just reminds me of that song Patience, where he's talking about how you don't even know how the pyramids. That song is too.
Right.
That song is too deep. That song was way past its time. Like, that song will be current for the rest of the existence of world. It's like now I'm going off topic.
You get it. No, I'll tell you what that is. That's called a segue. Segue. You know what I mean? So, but you can sing, though you're afraid to do it in front of people.
I'm petrified, except for when I was drunk the other day.
Except when you're drunk. So pretty much you're never scared. Except in the morning and shit. You know what I mean? You're never scared. Let's see. You do a little bit of modeling.
Yeah, not so much anymore, especially since COVID. I haven't done any, but I'm after everything.
Why you're not just setting up your camera and taking a bunch of fucking shots yourself? You don't know how to do that?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just time and willpower. Like, and I love the whole vibe of when you not even necessarily shooting. I'm more of a music video type of person.
Right.
So that
music videos.
Three music videos.
Nice.
I've been in. Yeah, so that's kind of basically what I want to do a little bit more, like of just that, because the whole ambience, the energy, just everyone's on the same wavelength. When it comes to like just shooting, there's a bit of waiting around, you know. Not that there isn't when
Hurry
you're
up
on a
and
music
wait
video.
is the film set motto. Hurry up and
Yes,
wait.
that's what I mean. Literally, it is, and it's just it's even when you're doing a music video, it's the same. But because the music is going on in the background, people are dancing. You can be just vibing yourself.
Right.
Like, do you understand what I'm saying? But when it's not that, it's just sit there, get your makeup done, then go. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I like the vibe
You
of a
ever
music
see
video.
the Nas and Diddy video "Hate Me Now"?
No, if I did, it would have been.
Now, but I won't stop now. You know that song? Like, there's
Yeah.
the video was shot right in my neighborhood.
Oh wow.
Yeah, right on. They was dancing on the awning on one of the corner stores on the block.
Oh wow.
Yeah, man. I got to meet Spliff Star that night, and because that was the same night as Freaky Ty's funeral. Freaky Ty the Lost Boys. His funeral was right down the block, so all the rappers that was out there, they walked up the block to go pay respect. Big Pun and Busta Rhymes and all them. They walked up the block to go pay their respects and shit. They shot the video and all that. So you know that was dope. They also filmed Belly. I don't know if you know the film Belly with DMX and Nas.
No.
Oh, you never seen that? It's basically
no.
I ain't gonna lie. It's basically one long ass music video. The acting is not great, but it's such a dope flick. You know what I'm saying? It's a dope movie. Method Man is in it. DMX, Nas, T-Boz from TLC. Like, yeah, man, it's a dope film, man.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, man. It was right before Shatas. You know what I'm saying? Shatas came out and killed the game. You know what I'm saying? But Belly was before Shatas. You know what I'm saying? And
that's crazy.
What's his name from Shatas is in it? Who's the dude? I can't remember his name. That motherfucker that Ivory, I think it was. No, that was his name in Belly. The dude that basically got killed by the girl, the stealth girl in his mansion. He was gunning everybody down in his mansion and shit. If you remember it, he's in Belly as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I need to. Do you know what? I need to go back here and rewatch some films and start watching some other films.
I can give you a bunch of movies, great movies to watch, man. Like, I don't know if you ever seen The Faculty. You know what I'm saying? But that was sort of all right. So that's sort of a horror movie, but it's not. But it's like Aliens. It's Aliens. Okay. Yeah, man. So it's not like
how horror is it? Because like
on a scale of 1 to 10, it is a solid 4.
Okay, so where would you scale Goosebumps on a 1 to 10?
2.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be petrified. Like,
oh my god, are you serious?
No, you don't understand. You think I'm just
books? All right, to be fair, I don't like puppets. To this day, not a big fan of puppets. But no, man, like I read Fear Street growing up as a kid. I watched Nightmare on Elm Street. Like I don't have a problem with horror because I recognize it's fiction. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody's imagination coming to life. You know what I'm saying? But I also recognize that, okay, come on, man. When you see Freddy Krueger at Comic-Con waving his hands, I'm like, hey, everybody getting hugging kids and shit. Like, you can't be scared of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I get it. Friday the 13th, that's not scary. You know what I'm saying? Because those are more suspenseful horror movies. But, like, if you said something like The Exorcist, no, I get you. I ain't gonna watch that. The Exorcist scared the crap out of me. Rosemary's Baby, no, not gonna watch that. That's some freaky, creepy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Like, you know, I don't mess with Ouija boards. I learned my lesson on that shit. But none of that. But I definitely like horror, especially if it's done well. I like suspenseful horror. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really what good horror is about. It's about the suspense. It's like building the suspense. So like
that's what gets me.
Yeah. So like when you watch this, and you know what, you gotta have a good strong arm around you, holding you tight when you watch. You know what I'm saying? That's the fun of horror movies. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's the fun of it when you got somebody there with you and you show, oh my god, and yeah, girl, come here. Let me protect you from the big bad people. Yeah, come here.
No, Frank, but that's true because I said I can't remember, we were talking about it on my live, and I was like, that's the problem. If I watch a horror movie, even if it's a basic horror movie, whoever I'm watching it with needs to stay the night. Like, I am not going to sleep. Like, it's not happening. I'm not going to sleep by myself, because I will sit there, like, freak the fuck out with my light on in my room and still not be able to close my eyes. Like, I can't. And that's the suspense. The music, like, music is very, very personal to me. Like, I feel all of the music when I listen to music.
Especially if it's good music.
Exactly. So when you're watching a horror movie, even to the point where, like, at this point it's too scary and I put my hands over my eyes, the music playing into my ears are creating an entire story about what is happening. Like, it's psychologically, for me, it's too much. Like, even being like, I've only just got to the point where I can sleep in the house on my own with my light off. Do you understand?
You know what? I kind of understand that, because I don't like being in new places where I'm by myself. I hate hotel rooms for some reason. I don't like hotel rooms. So those things, like, I get the eerie feelings. I don't like basements. I don't want to go in your basement. I don't want to go see your boiler room.
It's not happening.
You know what I'm saying? But I'll go, because I gotta fix shit sometimes. Like, fuck it.
No.
But then you see, I just added a new piece to my wall. So this is my cat. This is my tiger claw.
Yes.
It's triple blade. You know what I'm saying? I can hold on my hand like this. I traded my brother Vegas some throwing knives for it.
Wow.
Good brother. Good brother. Yeah, man. Like, but the suspense of it is what really gets me. And if it's done really well, and like, this is why I say they haven't really made a great horror movie in a long time. The last real good horror movie I saw was Paranormal Activity. That shit scared the fuck out of me. I can't even lie. And I haven't watched the second, third, or fourth ones yet, because the first one scared the shit out of me.
Is there something to do with a baby and a camera in that?
Something like that, yeah. They was all on camera. Yeah.
I watched that, and I literally could not go to sleep for 3 weeks. I fell asleep like when I got knocked out. Like, you know, you're so tired, you just end up falling asleep. I couldn't sleep. I was that movie. So and I watched it with other people. I couldn't.
Yeah. I'm not watching Annabelle. I don't like dolls. Dolls creep me the fuck out.
Oh yeah, dolls.
Dolls creep me out. And I'm weird. I think dolls prepared little girls for like underage pregnancy anyway. It's kind of a fucked up ideal. Like,
really?
You wonder why girls mature faster than guys? I'll tell you why. Because y'all toys as babies is fucking strollers with baby dolls in them, and cooking shit, and vacuum toys, and the easy bake oven. And I literally just saw this in a bit in a comedy show, but it's true. Like, and boys get Legos and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe, and it's all fantasy and comic, you know what I'm saying? Batman and shit. Like, come on, man. Of course we don't grow the fuck up.
Yeah, it's prepping them to be the perfect housewife.
That's wrong shit. That's wrong. Like, you should instill that. Like, let kids be kids. That's why I'm not a fan of this whole letting kids pick their gender. Listen, your brain doesn't fully develop till you're 25. Maybe hold off till then.
Yeah, like, I think, like,
vision like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Give yourself time to actually experience life before you decide, hey, you know what? I don't need my dick no more.
Yeah. Well, I completely agree, and let them explore different, like the toys. What you're talking about with the toys, like my son, he had a kitchen set, things like that. Like, why don't teach you that it's normal for a boy to cook as well? And, you know, or, you know what I mean? Buy him a Hoover or what? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, those type of things.
I love the easy bake oven. I ate cake and I didn't have to leave my room. Like, what the fuck? It's awesome.
That's what I'm saying.
You got the munchies, you put that shit right next to you there. You just sit there like, yo, I'm gonna make some brownies. You want some? You want it on this? Pop it in, a light bulb, cooks it, you golden. Eat that shit.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it needs to change. It does. But it's all about.
But that's the problem with that is just societal norms are very patriarchal, and I think that shift needs to happen sooner rather than later, to where we kind of have way more reverence and respect for women. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what they do and what they contribute, because, and look, I'll tell you right now, one of the greatest inventions ever, and every man uses it, wants it, has an idea that they could use that shit, is fucking Kevlar.
What's Kevlar?
Kevlar is bulletproof fiber. It's bulletproof and fireproof. Yeah, Kevlar is what they make bulletproof vests out of.
Oh, okay.
And a woman made it.
Wow.
Yeah, because she was in a restaurant, she was cooking, she's like a waitress or something, and she said she kept burning her arm on the fucking thing. So she like knitted together some fiber she had into like a sleeve, and it's like flame resistant, and then they harden it, you know what I'm saying, to it can be impenetrable to bullets and shit.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So and a woman came up with that. You know what I mean? So let's not act like women don't contribute a shit ton to the society. And let's be honest here, without y'all, there's no more people. Like,
thank you.
There's no more fucking people. Like, just like, what the fuck, man? That alone gives you like uber cachet to do what the fuck you want. Like, shit. Damn, man. Like, I don't understand. Oh, well, you know, equality is the wrong. What the fuck? Dude, she pushed a 10-pound thing out of her vagina. That came through first. Like, it's never going to be the same. Never going to be the same.
Oh,
Crazy,
it's true.
It's fucking crazy, man. I'm also crazy, so there's that. And then, you know, it's funny, man. Like, the people you've met online, on the MeetMe and Playing Fish and all that, it's funny, man. Like, in such a short time, you realize how precious those connections are real quick. Like, it dawns on me that I haven't seen Soul on Ice in a minute, man. Like, I realize I ain't seen him in a while. I miss him. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, I miss
he just sent me a message this morning as well.
Okay, good.
So I'm going to look at that after I get off. But yeah, even that, I think about him, obviously, even while I'm live. I'm like, even yesterday when we were talking about racism.
I need Soul. Where's he at?
Yeah, like, do you know what I mean? Like, he brings a lot to the table, and obviously his presence, his jokes, do you know what I mean? Like, it's his Julie.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you got Dreams and Noop and Foster and DJ Frosty and
and now Simple as well. Like, I speak to Simple every day now. Like, Dream I speak to. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Dawn and even King. I mean, like, all these, mind you, I'm fairly certain that none of these are their real names. These are monikers. They're like, you know what I'm saying? My mama did not name me Frank Starfire. Like, come on. Although for this episode, I did introduce myself as Uncle Frank Starfire.
Oh, okay. Because the thing is, it was funny because when I was talking to you in the beginning, I almost called you Uncle Frank.
And then I
realized, I was like, wait, we're not on live. He's on his podcast. Do not call him Uncle Frank.
That's fine. That you are more than welcome to call me that. That's fine, man. That's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You and your sister. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to somebody yesterday. I was like, yo, look, man. You know, as far as I'm concerned, you and your sister are family, man. Like, and that's just because the connection is just that deep. I understand the level of energy that's required to develop these types of things, and the energy you provide and give off and exude is so positive and welcoming and warm. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you get mad and it's like, damn, I didn't see that coming. All right. You know, you're such a good, warm spirit. You know what I'm saying? And it's so positive, and you know, you just you feel that connection. Like I told you before, you and my friend Autumn had the same birthday, so it just clicked instantaneously for some reason, and I'm very, very happy for it, man.
Definitely, 100%.
Now you run an anti-racism organization.
Yes. I found.
And in Europe.
Yes. In England. So I founded it with 3 other girls. So we went to the first march that happened after the George Floyd murder.
Right.
In my small town, there was between 4,000 and 6,000 people that came to the protest, which is huge. You even for events, you don't see that many people. It was crazy. And then, but there was supposed to be a march that happened after. But the police said to the organisers of the protest that they weren't allowed to, because they wouldn't be able to contain all of the people because of the COVID. So when we went, I saw one of my friends there, and I was like, "We want to do a march." And my sister was adamant. Makeda was adamant we should do a march, and I was like, "Yeah, I agree." Like this protest wasn't like a really a chanting, protest. It was more just people telling their stories and everything, which is nice.
Right.
But I think it's not it's not the only thing everyone needed. People were angry. People were hurt. They wanted to shout and we felt that. So when we saw our friend, we were like, "Do you want to march?" And she was with her 2 other friends, and we were like, "Let's do it. We don't know how we're going to get this to happen, because obviously everyone's been told that they're going home and stuff." So we just said, let's just go up to a bunch of people and ask them, like, "Do you want to march?" We went up to some people, and I was like, "Do you want to march?" And they just looked at us weird, because they're like, "First of all, you are not the organisers, and like we're not supposed to be marching." But we were like, "Okay, we need some power." And sometimes it takes people seeing men doing something for something to happen. So we saw this bag of guys. We were like, us 5 girls, we're not getting them. We were like, to these guys, they were taking pictures with their signs, and we were like, "Guys, do you want to help us like get people so we can go march?" Because and they were like, "Yeah, cool." As soon as this bag of guys started walking with us, and I was at the front like doing the chants, I'm talking about hundreds of people.
Like Voltron.
Literally hundreds of people just formed behind. Like, I didn't even realize how many people had formed, because I was doing the call and they were doing the squats, until we got about 15 minutes in and we did a turn, and I just saw hundreds of people. Like, it was incredible. The sound of all these people just shouting, and it was incredible. So we continued to march and walk, and then that was basically the creation of Movement Against Racism. After we did it, we came back. I did a little speech at the end. My voice was completely shot, so it wasn't coming out properly. But and then after us 5 girls, we spoke, and we said, like, we should make this a thing. We should actually bring people together, because in the town or city I live in, a lot of people don't believe in racism, and Black people too. They don't believe that it exists, because
they don't see it.
Yeah, it's not like normally overt racism.
Right.
Obviously, a lot of these people, some of them are coming from different countries. There's the universities.
I see that actually sometimes with some of the people I know that are white. They don't realize that racism is a problem because they don't see it, because they don't participate in it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And to them, it's a mind fuck to think that not everybody is like, "What do you mean everybody don't like Black people? I love y'all guys. Like, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
Got music, great food. Like, what the hell, man? Have you had our damn potato salad? They put raisins in that shit. That ain't good.
Yep. No, it's true. And this whole idea, it's obviously it's good that they don't participate in it, but it's bad because then I think they're bad that they don't acknowledge it, because they're not in the active fight to progress. Hold on
one second.
Of course.
Take this call, weirdly enough.
No, that's fine. You do that.
Yo, Frank, I need you to do me a favor.
What happened?
There's a number that's on the refrigerator that Brittany needs.
A phone number or?
Yeah, a phone number.
What? Okay, give me 1 second. I'm. All right, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna pause this for a moment. Yeah, my brother's live with us on the podcast. Y'all, give me a second here. We're gonna pause it for a second. He needs my help. Did that pause? All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Now, you were saying before my brother interrupted us.
What was that? What, I can't remember.
You were talking about exactly where you said you and the ladies got together and you started doing this. Now,
yes,
I guess I want to interject something here. I guess I wanted to ask. We here in America, we see racism as I guess we kind of have the idea a lot of the times that racism only affects us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
we never, I guess it didn't register to a lot of us until we saw it, that you all are affected by it too over there and in Japan and Hong Kong and Australia. Like the protests were all over the world. You know what I'm saying? We all witnessed a live snuff film, basically. That 17-year-old young lady who took that footage, what would have happened if she wasn't there? She didn't have the forthright of mind to pull out her phone. And I get it. Like, I ain't gonna lie. A large part of me wanted to just would have says in my mind, like, yo, no, rush that motherfucking knock him off of him. Fuck the consequences. Like, yo, try and save his life. But I also know that you got cops and they got guns, and you know what I'm saying? That fear is not like, we like to think we could be the hero, but that's not always the case. You know what I'm saying? But when I saw the protests happening, you froze. When I saw the protests happening over there, you froze a little bit.
Am I still frozen?
Yeah.
Give me.
No problem.
Give me.
Sometimes you gotta turn your camera off and turn it back on. It does that. Damn Zoom and your damn weird. I'm sorry, the all powerful Zoom. Don't cut me off. And so when I saw those protests happening over there, it was shocking. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think ignorant people will say things like, "Oh, well, where were they for all these years? Why didn't they say nothing before?" You know what I'm saying? But I think that what we all witnessed with that one was more than what anybody had ever imagined to see. You understand what I mean? Like, how did that affect y'all over there? If you could kind of share that.
Yeah, well, so in answer to the statement of where was, or the question where will be before, I think there's always been kind of mobilizations and protests and things that have been going on, but they haven't necessarily been as publicized or as newsworthy, in different areas. That, like, for example, we have this group called Stand Up to Racism. They have been around for years and years, and
I've heard of that for some reason. I didn't know it was a European organization.
Yeah, they have branches all over Europe, and they do so much, they to do with refugees, to do with Black Lives Matter, they have been consistent, but they don't get much of any news. Yeah, no, they don't, because they are so consistent, because the news doesn't want consistency. They want what's big at the time. So it has obviously been affecting us, and we do stand, but it's not, And then secondly, there was a huge rise in people that were joining protests, etc., especially with the George Floyd murder. But from what the people who I've spoken to, people who attend my protests and marches, it was almost, my auntie described it as a trigger. It triggered the trauma of her entire life. She said she articulated it as.
Who said this?
My auntie.
Okay.
And she said that she had been living. It's like all of the the experiences she's had, the racist experiences she's had, the traumatic experiences she's had, have just been kind of buried through normal life. You get on with your life, you live. And she said that when she watched the George Floyd video, it brought everything. She could remember things that she did not remember that had happened to her. You know, parts of her life where she was actually, she'd been threatened. She was in fear of her life, you know, because of racist situations, things that obviously she had basically suppressed. And she said all those things came flooding back. And then it was like she relived that trauma again. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think with a lot of people, because obviously I study criminology. I've studied incidents that have happened within America. I've studied incidents that have happened within the UK. When I watched that video, like, I didn't think it would have affected me in that way, because I have read and, you know, watched things, watched clips, watched movies. You know, it was very different. It was
always after the fact, like after the fact. You know what I'm saying? This was in the here and now of modern lynching live for people to see.
Yes. It wasn't theoretical. It was there. It was
wasn't
you know what I mean? You were a part of it. No, you were a part of it. Like, and I think that's what just the emotions that it brought up for me and for a lot of other people. Like, I mean, on these protests, like, I would be talking and I would start crying while I'm talking. And I'm quite good at handling my emotions when I'm in public, but I couldn't stop crying because it was bringing out so many things. It wasn't just bringing out things that I've experienced, racist experiences that I've had. It was me thinking about my brother, who is a lot darker than me. He has 2 black parents. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the things that he goes through. My brother, who's albino. Do you understand what I'm saying? And having really significantly black features, but then having white skin tone and all of his things that he went through. You know what I mean? And then obviously then thinking of historically about slavery and just all the shit that's been happening to us. And it just made me so angry. And the fact that we have the most prestigious universities where I live, and the level of the amount of black people that go to these prestigious universities is minuscule. Do you understand what I'm saying? The jobs that we can't get, and the fact that we're working, like, you know, cleaning jobs and this, that, and the other. I'm not saying that they're bad jobs, but the access, the opportunity to other job CEOs, being business people, this is the way the entire world is set up to work against us. I was just pissed off, and everyone else was as well. Do you understand? Because it made you reflect on your life now, how your life has been, and who put you in this place. Do you understand? The fact that it's a complete cycle. It's just like, I think everyone was just angry, pissed off, hurt, like, and then obviously the fact that they just watched a murder, like that the trauma in that of itself. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the fact, and everything, the Chauvin, his demeanor, the fact that his hands were in his pocket, the fact that he had no remorse, the fact that he almost looked like he was enjoying the power trip, like, all of it made it just so much. It was sick. It was sick to watch. Do you understand what I'm saying? It was like watching. It was watching like a gory, sadistic horror movie that was real, that you were in, that you couldn't do anything about. Like, and then obviously those thoughts of, like, with my mum, for example, she wouldn't even. I showed it to her, and she wouldn't even watch the whole thing because she had that thought of. She comes from a different era. She said there would have been no way she would have let him do that. She would have said, regardless of the consequence, and even back in the day, she said she's been in situations where she's ended up arrested because she's pushed the police officer off of the person who he was beating. There's a different era. Like, our era,
they were tougher back then. They were so much tougher. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, 100%, 100%. So she was angry in that aspect. She was like, how can we get to this point now where, and yes, of course, like you say, without the video, without that evidence, like, but she's like, if I'm going to save a life, if I could save a life, like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, so she was angry with that, and just, you know, bringing up things about how, you know, how life was, how life still is, like, just the change. It just brought up, I think,
I ain't gonna lie, I would love to talk to your mom.
Yes.
I would love to talk to your mom.
My mom. Yeah.
I think that would be a hell of a dope conversation. Like I like talking to my old revolutionary ass people, man. I love that.
No, yeah, my mom.
We was here, and they be going in like, oh, wow.
My mom's quite a cut. She came on one of my lives actually, and she when we were talking about the racism. I don't know if you were there. You might not have been there.
I wasn't in that one. I missed that.
She came on for literally about 10 minutes because Mr. Bum was like, "Oh, I want to meet your mum," because she came in when my ceiling fell through, and she came on. She was just like, "I want to just add to the conversation." She's very she's quite soft spoken. She just but she really is. Like she used to tell me about I don't know if you've heard of the Brixton riots that happened here.
I have actually.
Yeah, the 1981 Brixton riots. She was there. She was right in the midst of it. And she would tell me about that, living and seeing and hearing, and it was just, it's crazy. My mum, she is interesting to speak to, and she came to the protest with us, and she just, it's just crazy. Just
I think the next time we do this, I want to talk to you, your mom, and your sister.
Yeah.
You know
okay.
what I'm saying? Get that 3 generation of women in there and just listen, because I want to hear what your mom has to say from her perspective. I want to hear what your sister has to say from her perspective. You know what I'm saying? And and you just are always welcome anyway. So
it's true. My family, especially the women, are very much, we're very much activists. My son as well, Marley, he is obviously by default, but he is really he loves reading about history. It's bittersweet, the fact of why we're doing it, but it's opened up my son's mind for understanding how much of an impact we've made into the world today and previously.
Have you ever heard of the book Nile Valley? Hold on. I get it for you.
Okay. Okay. I'm holding on. I ain't going anywhere.
Nile Valley Contributions to Western Civilization.
No.
It basically teaches. It's by Anthony Browder. It basically teaches how much influence in civilization comes from Africa and the Nile Valley, specifically. You know what I'm saying? And it's definitely a great read. It's a great knowledge tool. You know what I'm saying? Marley, I think he'd dig that. There's also Batman, you fell. This is a graphic novel of The Alchemist.
Okay.
This is a dope read too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. You're gonna have to send me the names in. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't forget.
I got you.
Definitely.
Those are just two in the vast collection of crap that I have. Oh God, I need more bookshelves. I need more bookshelves, man. I got all my graphic novels in the desk here, and
just get an actual bookshelf.
Well, you know what it is, Safi. I'm gonna be honest with you. Right now, me and my brother live together. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm looking to do within the next year and a half is move into my own house. So and then I'll have the amenities in the way that I want them. All the wood and fire all over the place, and fireplace with the bookshelves, so I can just sit in the joint and drink my coffee and read a book. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Honestly, if you ever see the cribs that you build in Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going for.
Oh my God!
With the forge in the basement and all that.
That makes so much sense. Oh my God! Oh my God! I could see it. I could literally see it.
To me, that's life, man. I want to those are the things I want to learn how to do, man. I want to learn how to hunt. I want to learn how to forge weapons. I want to learn how to, I might want to learn how to do math at some point. learn another language, you know.
Yes.
And travel. You know, I mean, this whole pandemic thing has definitely shown me the value of getting the fuck out of where you're comfortable.
Oh
You know what I
my
mean?
God,
Like,
yes.
I gotta come to Europe. I gotta come to England. Gotta come to bloody old England. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
you have, seriously, it's crazy. It's such a crazy thing to me, especially like, obviously, I guess I didn't know before because all of the Americans that are here, they are military, so they are well traveled.
Mhm.
But since going on MeetMe, I'm saying like 90, maybe even more, 90% of the people I've spoken to, some have not left the country
At
of the
all.
United States,
Yeah.
and some people have not even left their state.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
some people don't even have a passport.
City. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy. And when I think of it, like I always try and encourage people, like just try and go somewhere. Like one guy, he's like, oh, it's never seemed like it's worth it to actually go somewhere. He's like, I wanted to, he said I wanted to travel to, someplace, but he's like, it never seemed like it's worth it. And it's crazy to me, like the things you experience when you travel. Like I've been to so many different parts of the world. I've learned, at least the basics, even with my son, of so many different languages.
Mhm.
And the experiences, the culture, the food, it opens your mind up to so many different things. Like it's incredible. You become.
It shows you how somebody else lives, and then you see the similarities of things. Like, oh, word, like, oh, shit, I got that too. Like, oh, yeah, like, oh, shit, I've had this before. I never realized this came from here. Like, you learn some ill shit, man. Like,
and even the differences, you begin to see the beauty in the differences, which I think is very important, even on a level when you're talking about race and racism and acceptance, and it's like a good foundation, a good building block for having an understanding of this is different, and it's not only different and that's okay, it's actually beautiful. Like it's incredible. Like and
it opens your perception. I tell everybody, man, the one thing I learned and that I live by now especially is go through life with an open mind and an open heart. And you'll be surprised what comes to you. You know what I'm saying? The more negative you put out, that's what comes back. And the more positive you put out, that's what comes back.
Yeah.
Safi, my love, we can wrap this up, but I do want to thank you so much for joining me today on the Just to Be Frank podcast. This was very, very interesting. I got to learn a boatload more about you than I actually thought. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I'm glad you're my friend. And come back anytime, please. You know what I'm saying? Like you can drop by once a week if you want.
No, I really appreciate it. I'm definitely gonna come back on that. I appreciate it. I appreciate you as well for asking me.
And give everybody your social media and tell everybody how to find out about Mar.
I'll
put the link in the description and everything. But do you have a website?
No, but we have a Facebook page which is Movement Against Racism, but it has 2 I's in racism because for some reason Facebook wouldn't let me write racism. And for I know, and for Instagram it's MAR CAMS, CAMBS. So yeah, they're for the Mar. My Instagram is Safiya Faith, but you don't need to add that.
That's gonna go right here. That's gonna go right here. You know what I'm saying? Right in the corner.
I'm not bothered about that. But the anti-racism organization, we also provide food because our government is not providing food for low-income families for the half term, and we've been trying to like push for that.
They do food stamps over there and shit like that. Y'all have?
No, so they were basically forced to give food vouchers at one point, but they've said now for this half term they are not going to do it again. So we basically had to fight for them to do it. They did it, albeit reluctantly, and then now they're saying they're refusing to do it. So what we did was the first half term in the pandemic, because some children, the only meal they get is the meal at school.
Yeah.
So what we did for the first one is we made sandwiches and gave them lunches. However, this took too much time. We were literally making sandwiches in my house. Like it took like hours. So the second time we just gave them food packages. So now we're going to be doing that again. Everything is off of donations. That's how we do it. None of us get paid. We're all volunteers. But so we give them, and the food parcels were huge. Like they were so overwhelmed, like enough for a family. We have different amounts for different families, but it's a lot of food and good food. We don't, go and get the cheapest. We want them to be healthy, and so we're doing things like that as well. So.
Well, it's interesting. We did say we was going to cut this off, but it's interesting the dietary differences between over there and over here. Like there's a lot of shit that's in our fucking packaged food, and y'all have the same shit, but yours has 3 or 4 ingredients, whereas ours has 32. Like
it's
I don't mean
crazy. It's crazy. Your food actually scares me. So the base is about 35 minutes away from here, and I go there every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. And sometimes I go in there, pick up some, crisps, or as you call them, chips, right? Pick up some crisps, but when I was married to an American, I could actually go on myself. So I do my shopping on there. Right. And it was crazy because things like your bread lot, like it scares me. Our bread most probably doesn't even last a week, maybe 4 days,
right?
5 days a push.
No preservatives. You have no preservatives. Like they bake bread every day there.
Yeah,
And technically they do here too. Like I used to live by the Hostess Bread Factory. So as you go to Jamaica, like if you went by Jamaica Ave, like Jamaica Avenue. If you go on Jamaica Avenue, if you was going past, you could smell the bread being baked. And it was like the best thing in the morning. You just smell fresh bread. Oh.
But was that for your like bakeries, or was that for your normal stores? Like
no, that was just like the Hostess Bread Company. Like so anybody who had Hostess bread in their store, they baked it right there in Queens.
Okay.
I don't know if they still do. That might be closed now because they're idiots.
Okay.
But woo, I love that smell. I love the smell.
It's amazing. It's beautiful. But American food does scare me. Like the sell-by date is just way too long. I'm like, what am I putting in my body? Like, and
I ask people like, what do you think they have to put in a salad dressing to make it sit on a shelf for a year and still be good for another year? Like, what the fuck, man? Even when they're like, come on.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. So, and I'm already fussy with food anyway. Like, I like to buy organic and things like that. Like if I could, the aim is, I don't know where I'm going to move in America, but I would like to be self-sustainable. I would like to be able to grow my own food and maybe have a couple chickens and whatever, for eggs and stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
they do that right here. They do that. There's people up here who have chickens in their backyard. They got the coop. They sell it right at what we call Tractor Supply. They sell chickens there. They sell the whole kit and caboodle for you. They got them right here. You know what I'm saying? I want to get a catfish barrel. So you basically grow catfish for sustainable food. You know what I'm saying? But they can survive in the barrel, and they just keep respawning, and you take them out, you eat them, and you know what I'm saying? But you have a fully sustainable supply of fish all the time. Catfish is very versatile. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have scales. And they're bottom feeders. People don't really like them like that, but you feed them what you you know what I'm saying? You feed them right. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
People have pigs, goats and all that shit. And then we have butchers here where you can go to the butcher and get elk and get venison or get halibut and different fish and shit like that.
Yeah.
I fish. I ain't gonna sit here and lie like I'm the best fisherman on the fucking planet, but I do like to fish. So I got a lake right by the house. So when you come on visit, we just gonna go catch our dinner. You know what I'm saying? Bye.
That's cool. I've never been fishing before in my life.
What? Oh,
never.
Man. You know what? It's so relaxing because you can sit there, you can sip your little, you know what I'm saying, your little drink, sit in your chair, cast off, and if something grabs it, you boom, reel it in.
Yeah.
Will you catch
it?
It's fun.
It looks interesting. When I went to Florida this year just passed, March, my ex's best friend took him fishing and he loved it. So I think, yeah, it's definitely.
It's one of those things. And like I said, I live in Pennsylvania, so it's close enough to New York where I can get to the city if I absolutely have to, but far enough away where I don't have to see my neighbors if I don't absolutely want to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
So
yes.
I like that. And it's still, I still get the winter because I like the cold. I'm weird. I like the cold. I can't live in the heat. I can't live in heat. You know what I'm saying? I need temperate climate. You know what I'm saying? I need that little chill in the air at times. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't function well in the heat. My birthday's in the summer. I hate that shit. Like, I fucking, oh my God, I'm miserable all fucking summer because it's so hot. Like, and I'm beige as hell, so I burn like the Dickens. Like, it's just no fun, man. Oh man.
No.
But no, listen, it's dope. And we'll because like I said, you come visit, we'll catch fish and we'll make sure that your dietary needs are satisfied. I'll teach you how to make salmon cakes.
Okay, all right.
And I'll make you, because I ain't gonna lie, we do it from a can. I do it from a can, but if I actually had some fresh salmon, that you cook it, you bake it real quick, then season it up, chop it.
Wait, did you just say salmon from a can?
Yeah.
I've never seen salmon from a can in my life.
Like mackerel, y'all have canned mackerel, right?
Yeah. The only thing that is ever in a can I've ever seen is tuna, mackerel, and sardines. Never salmon. Never any
salmon the same way. You'll find it in the can.
That's
Bumblebee makes
crazy.
it. Yeah. Oh, and it's good with the bones in it. I've eaten the bones. Yeah, that's where you get the fight. That's where you get all the nutrients.
Listen, I have skinless, boneless.
The bones are where the stuff is. And then I make mine. So like normally, like traditionally salmon cakes or fish cakes, whatever it's called, they're made with like breadcrumb and eggs and, it's basically like a burger almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I stopped using the egg and I started using like black beans.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? With the breadcrumb.
Yeah.
So it's still, and then so it's more hearty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we'll fill you up, and you like beans anyway, so you got all the gas you want, girl.
Do you know it's so funny because it's so true. Like I can't even argue against it. Like it is what it is. It is what it is at this point.
Beans, man. Like that's good. Like and it's just. But I like to cook things like that. Like I like oysters and clams and things like that. I know you don't. I'm trying not to eat shrimp because I'm really seeing the correlation between them and cockroaches, and that shit fucks with me. But I like clams and oysters and mussels and things like that. They're really, really good. But yeah, man, we're gonna hook it up. Let me stop because now I'm making myself hungry. All right.
I need to go and eat as well. It's it's 4 o'clock and I haven't eaten.
Oh my God, are you late for a stream or something? Like,
no, I'm gonna sit down, get some food, then I'm gonna stream it. Like I'm not rushing myself to stream at the moment. I'm trying to take time to actually speak to people one-on-one. Like most of the people that I care about really from the stream, really have a good bond. Like I have their number. I have your number, Dreamer's number, Noop, Simful. Like I speak to all of those people. DJ Frosty, I have his Snapchat. So it's like they're the people I really. You lot are the people I really get on for. So it's like now I'm just like.
Dreamer ain't here to stop me now. What happened the other day on that Bigo shit?
Oh, okay, quickly before I go. So I forgot. Yeah, Dream was like, no, not now, because I was really, really upset. So he didn't. He I think he was just trying to protect me. Dream was well protective of me.
Yeah.
But so I had a PK, which is a battle, right?
Yeah.
Same as. Oh wait. So when did you leave?
I left after you cut out. I was there the whole time. Even after, I was there the whole time.
So that's basically all that happened.
That was it. You was mad at that? Listen.
That was
Let me
it.
tell you something. Did it? All right. Was it because it hurt your feelings that like you didn't expect that to happen, and you was like really
No,
bantering with this young lady, like y'all thought y'all was kind of getting along fairly well, and then all of a
no,
sudden,
it's because she lied. So I just have this real, and I think, yeah, maybe it is a bit over the top or whatever, but when it comes to lying, I've always said, for example, to give people an example of how much I don't like lying, I've always said, lying to me is worse than cheating on me.
right.
That to me is how, like, if you cheat on me, I could go back to you. If you lie to me, I'm leaving you.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So like when it comes to lying, I have like I try and be as honest as possible, even when it's when I could get away with lying.
Can I ask this? Is it because of your religion, whereas cheating is not a sin, but lying is?
No, it has nothing to do.
Okay.
Nothing to
I just
do with my
wondered. I
religion.
wondered.
No. That's a good question, but no, it's nothing. I didn't even think of anything to. I just personally have this thing about you know what I mean. But it's personally to me about lying. Like I don't know. It gets to me so much more than anything else. Like when I was younger, I used to be like when you were saying about how before you used to lie and everything like that. I used to be like that when I was younger. I used to lie a lot because I was just obviously just holding everything in. Didn't want to. Do you know what I mean? Didn't want to acknowledge anything.
Right.
But I don't know where exactly it changed. But since then, I've maybe even too honest. Like I will, even at the times where I could get away with lying, and it would be more beneficial for me to lie to get. I won't. I will say what I need to say.
You won't lie to the police to get yourself out of trouble?
No.
What's wrong with you?
Listen.
The one time you're allowed to lie to get yourself out of trouble, like major trouble. Like if you murdered somebody, you're not gonna tell somebody you did it, right?
Yes, I fucking would.
What? No, Safi, we got to bag you up a bit. We got to
Why would I be murdering someone anyway? Like I need to be telling someone about. I could not hold it in. The guilt, you know.
You know what?
Guilt,
No, you know what? I'm the same way. If and the truth is, I've never cheated on any girl I've been with, because I know for a fact I would tell her that I did it, because I would feel guilty that I did it. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably, and that's not to help her in any way. It's all about, that's selfish.
About you.
It's about me. It's
100%.
about my level of guilt and my feelings on it. But I would just feel terrible doing it, which is why I've never done it. I've been cheated on, but I've never been the cheater. And maybe, maybe that's why I'm single, man. Maybe I should be more of a douchebag. Girls seem to like it.
No.
Girls seem to like that.
That's literally the thought that I was like after when I was talking to Dreamer about it. I was like, she said she had a migraine, and she said that no one was there, and blah blah. And then when after it happened, I said, look, I was like, guys, she knew someone was there. She was just laughing the whole time. And I said to Dreamer, I said that the problem is that when I messaged my agent, I was like, raw, I didn't know like people were like that. I was like, I didn't know people pulled that dumb shit. He was like, it's not dumb, it's smart. And I was like, oh, so this is the type of app we're on where you're supposed you fake
a little bit of deception
to see. And I was like, when
you
I was
may not be built for this one there.
That's what I said to him. I said, I can't be doing that. Like you see how I am. Even when we do verses and the person hasn't had their first win, I'm like, guys, give this person their first win, because, and I wasn't expecting that from her, but it was just like, to me. So then I started thinking, I was like, well, this makes sense as to why people turn into assholes, because if a situation like that happens, they're like, well, I'm not going to trust anything anyone says from now on, and I'm just, do you understand what I'm saying? But I'm like, at the end of the day,
it makes you jaded.
But at the end of the day, I said to Dreamer, I'll most probably do the same exact thing again. Like, I'm not gonna, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm the type of person, I need to be true to myself regardless of what's happened. And I can, at the end of the day, like, after when I thought about it, I was like, wait, why the fuck am I upset? What she did said more about her than me. I'm still myself at the end of the day. Like, but it was a good learning lesson anyway. So, like, it's fine. Now I'm cool. It's whatever. But I said to
You're not mad
Zuma,
about it at all.
no, I said I was speaking to Simple last night and we were talking about it, and I said it doesn't matter. In a month's time, we're gonna verse and we're gonna fuck her up.
There you go.
That's it.
Well, you know what? Well, obviously, I'll see you on there a little later, of course, but that's how that is.
Yep.
Listen, Safi, again, man, thank you ever so much for joining me. We'll do this again. And
it's been amazing.
You know what? Damn, man, I did have one last question for you.
Go on, let's go quick. Let me turn on my. I'm listening, but let me turn on my light because it's getting dark over here.
Yeah, do your thing, girl. Yeah.
All right.
Shit, I'm partying now. Now, listen, what did you think about the Capitol riot situation?
I think that it's kind of reflective of Trump. I had this conversation beforehand, before even the election, etc. I was like, the way that Trump's followers are, it doesn't matter if he was going to be in the presidency or not, they're going to still follow him. They're that type of like, it is crazy because it reminds me of, and I know this is very over the top and it's not the same, but it gives me a kind of, reminds me of almost Hitler. So you know how like people, regardless of whether it was right what he was doing or wrong what he was doing, or whether people, it's like Trump fundamentally believes in what he's doing. I don't think he's doing it out of like being malicious or this. He fundamentally believes what he's doing is okay. So, or I believe so. And when people follow someone like that, it is incredibly dangerous. Incredibly dangerous. Like, and obviously we're not in the times been back in the day where, you know, well, I guess, you know, but not really going around killing people, etc. on that level. But if we were, I believe that that's what would have been happening. It's like, and it does make it scary because when people follow people to that level of loyalty,
it's dangerous.
There's no other control. Like they're like it's dangerous. I said that before any of this happened. Like this is I don't even know. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. And then people comparing it to the Black Lives Matter movement. You know, the protests, and it's just I don't know. It just
I only asked just to get an outside perspective.
Yeah. Where's your view on it?
I think they're cowards. I think the people who support them are cowards. And I think that those that have seen this and they may have been followers, but now they've seen this and was like, all right, you know what? This is getting the fuck out of hand. I think that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Because change is hard and it's difficult. And if you still can view that and think that that's okay, you know what I'm saying? Or if you still want to try and push blame to somebody else, or, you know what I'm saying, just not like it's cognitive dissonance all around. And you know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, 100%. I don't see it ending well. Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen in the next few days when this inauguration happens. I don't know what's going to happen. The only thing I do know is I definitely plan on getting a little bit more traveling in, and I might tell you what, you can take my house, I'll take your crib over there, and we'll do a swap season. Call it a day. Safi, love you, my love. I'll speak to you later.
Awesome.
I want to thank you so much for joining. This has been your boy, Uncle Frank Starfire. That's BabyFace Safi. This has been the Just to Be Frank podcast. I thank you for joining me as ever. One love, abracadabra.
I appreciate you.
Yes. Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Frank Starfire. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you heard, do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then share the living shit out of this. Or keep it to yourself so you can be that much smarter than everybody else. Also, do me a favor, hit the links in the description so that you can get some more great content from me and some of my friends. And feel free to drop a line in the comments, even if it's just to tell me that I'm a fucking moron. Thanks for watching. One love, abracadabra.